Hey y'all, this is Church from Church's Intake. Let's get into another reading of his word. Let's talk about some love. We need love. And people in the body of Christ believe that they got these things. They got tongues, they can do miracles, prophesy. But let's see what the word says with all of this without having love. Though I speak with the tongue of men and of angels and have not charity, I become like sound brass or a twinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understanding all mysteries and all the knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I can remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing. What did he say? Nothing. It profits nothing if you don't have love. You need love. And let's read on. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity endureth, envieth not. Charity vaulteth not itself. It is not puffed up. Doeth not behave, not easy provoked. Doeth not behave itself unseemingly, speaketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth, beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as also I am known. And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these three things, but the greatest of all is charity. God bless the reading of his word. 1 Corinthians 13, 1 through 13. So let's talk about it. So if you doing these things, you give to the poor, you believe, like, you speak in tongues, you got the gift of tongues, you got the gift of prophecy, you say you're doing miracles, you blessing people, you healing folks, and you don't have love. Like, if that doesn't show through all the evil, you know what I mean? Like, you should also have charity. You have to have love. Like, so when these people are operating, like, even the rich give to poor. Not saying they give to poor in America, but they give to poor folks, thinking that they're doing something honorable, but without the love. And they're just doing it just to be getting accolades, or, oh, look what I done did. Then God's not going to acknowledge that. You know what I'm saying? Like, God judges the heart. You need to have a good heart posture. So a lot of people out here today, church folks, them church folks, they out here masquerading like, look at all the good things, all the good deeds I do. And they don't really have love for one another. They don't have love for their brothers and sisters. They don't have love for their aunts and uncles, their friends. They don't have true love. They just do things so they can get looked at as a good person. But God looks into the heart of a person. You're not just doing it just to do it, or doing it so you can get praise from other people. Like, oh, this person's so sweet and nice. Look what they did. They donated $1 million to this fund. And they can be one of the most evil people in this world doing these things. Like the elite, they give out money to people all the time. Now you're trying to tell me that they're not evil still? Yes, they are. Actually, if you do have knowledge and unknown knowledge, you would know that there's a universal thing. You know, I mean, we'll say universal, but it's an earthly thing. It's like a law, a God's law, like earth law. When you give, you will receive. And people do know this on both sides of the spectrum, on the good side and on the bad side. So they do give so they can receive more. It's like the law of attraction and stuff like that, you know, like you should know other than just the word, because when God wants to raise you up, you'll know why an evil person will give so they will get more and be more wicked with their wealth, you know, but they'll never give up their wealth. They don't want to do that, you know what I mean? That's why when God talked to that rich man, he was like, yo, give up everything and follow me. He was like, oh no, we can't do that. That's not right, right? Like, yes, give that all up, because he knew in his heart that he wasn't, you know, fully invested in Christ. And Christ would have gave him more. I already know that. Christ always give more. If you give, he's going to give you more. But when you're giving to hopefully receive, then you're doing it in a deceitful way, in a deceitful manner. You're not doing it out of love and generosity or with true faith. Like when Abraham was going to sacrifice his son, he didn't want to do it, but the love that he had for God made him want to do it. You got to get that. He had much love for God. This was his first, well, this was his second son, but this was his first son from his wife. And he loved his sons. You know, he loved his family. Just anybody, a person, a true person, loves their kids. So if he was willing to sacrifice his son, like from his true wife, not his concubine, not his servant, but from his wife, his actual son, that, you know, the angel of God told him that he was going to have a son at a old age, and Sarah was laughing about it. But the whole principle was Sarah didn't want that to go down, and he didn't even want to tell Sarah like what he was going to do with his son, because he already knew she was ready to take his top off if he had said like, yo, I'm about to sacrifice little dude over here. Like, yo, for God, she would have probably killed him right on the spot, because she was itching for her kid. She was so thirsty to have her own kid that she let her servant give him and grace him with a son. You know, so you got to understand that he was tested at that time, but God tested his heart and seen in his heart that he didn't want to do it, but he was only doing it because God wanted him to do it. And that's what we get tested on a lot of times. God tests us with a lot of different things in our lives. And some people, they don't be passing these tests. Tests could be like, yo, I'm going to put this in front of your face, right? I'm going to put millions of dollars in front of you, right? And then you got to understand that God's going to let the devil test you. And then you need to go through the test. Pass the test or fail the test. So it'd be like, put this money in front of you, and it could be, let's say, evil money. You know, you didn't work for this, but you got to do some evil deeds to obtain this money. Like someone comes up to you with a contract or such and tell you, I'll give you this money if you take this person out, or I'll give you this if you put some voodoo on this person. And that's a test. People take these tests, and that's a test. And some people will fail this test. It's a simple test. Now, mind you, you're probably not going to get the money anyway, especially if you fail the test, because it's a test that the devil uses to manipulate you, to see that you are of his descendants. You know what I'm saying? So it's like saying, like, I told you he was like me, Lord. I told you this was like my seed. This is my son. This is my daughter. You see, they want to kill this other person, this innocent being, or they want to do some witchcraft on this innocent being. And look, they failed. Now God is judging all of this, just like how he does with people in the Bible. He did it. He did it with Job. He did it with Moses. He did it with all of them. Everybody goes through testings. Everyone's test is different. Some people already have money. So money could be the root of all evil. But sometimes God's going to test you like he tests a rich person. I need you to give up all your money and follow me. And that will make a person fail, because they're more keen and they're more wanting to obtain and keep the wealth that they had obtained. And some people don't have money and they'll do anything to obtain it. And these things, if you do it the wrong way, you're either going to pass or fail a test. Your whole life is a test. You're always in testing. Just know that. Like, God is always watching over you, seeing what you're doing in secret, seeing what you're doing to others, seeing how you help others, seeing if you're just helping others just so you can get accolades and people thinking that you're this great person, when you can be showing to them, another human being, that you look good, that you talk the right way, that you work in God's, glorious gifts. But deep down inside, you're a demon. You over here doing hoodoo, you know what I mean? You over here doing Santeria. You over here worshiping other deities. You over here hoping and praying that another don't make it because you don't like that person. Now, God sees that. Every human don't get to see these things, but God does. He sees everything. He sees you 24 hours a day. He knows your thoughts 24 hours a day. You can't hide anything from him. He doesn't play. He's not for play. And some of us get tested. We might have started off broke, busted. We might have started off homeless. We might have started off, that we had to, progress in little increments. And he's going to see how you deal with each test that you go through, to see, these are level ups, to see if you're ready for the next level. And some people start off at this other level, like they can already have the money, riches, and such things like that. And God's going to test them the opposite way. But if you have the faith, even if he was to take everything, I already know he's giving you more, because whatever he take, he's going to 7 times fold it. But some people don't want to go through the process. They will think that, oh, I gave up these millions of dollars and now God got me out here broke. What kind of God is this? And not knowing or having faith in Christ or God, that whatever you give, he's going to multiply it. He's going to make you more grand. And it's also a test. So some people aren't supposed to have all this money because they don't know how to delegate the money the right way, or they don't know how to elevate other people to obtain what they obtained. You're not supposed to keep this stuff closeted. Just like when he was talking about the parable with the servants. He gave one guy like one gift, he gave another guy 3 gifts, and then he gave another guy 5 gifts. The one that had 3 doubled it, made 6. The other guy had 5, doubled it, made 10. And the one guy that had 1, he buried his gift. And God was upset because he hoarded it. And he was just saying like, yo, you could have brought it in the bank. Not using God, but God was using the parable. But he was saying like, if you're going to bury a gift and not enlighten people with the gift I gave you, why should I have given you this gift? You could have put it in the bank or something. So that's like saying you could have told one person, and then that person could have elevated your gift that you didn't want to elevate yourself with, that you could have just gave to this other person and they could have multiplied it. But some people, there's a lot of people, they want to be in a position of power, but they don't have the foresight or the endurance of going through highs and lows. So how could you be at the top if you can't go through the highs and the lows? That's like saying you're a king, right? And your son or daughter, no, not your daughter, but your son, right? He's a prince, was like the head of the army, right? And y'all was fighting. You sent your son out with all of the military men, or all of the, chariots with the horses and all of that back in the day. You know how they do it, right? Or how they did it. And then they was losing the war. You got the message back like, yo, we about to lose the war. Like, your son's going to have to be on the front line. He has to go in. And then you say, as a king, oh, let's retreat because I don't want my son to die. And not knowing, like, maybe if he did go in and you ain't had that thought like my son, that maybe they would win the war. So that's just what I'm, trying to express. Like, some people aren't built to make certain decisions, but they want to be top dog, and they ain't even built up their endurance to even be the low dog. And God is the one that's going to build up your endurance to be top dog or low dog. And these people are just trying to steal, kill, and destroy, and masquerade around like God's talking to them. And a lot of people, God ain't even talking to them. Actually, he's expelling a lot of them because they ain't trying to go through the trials and tribulations that they was supposed to, that they was set out to deal with, that they were supposed to do. And then he's got us other ones that's going to do and take those little baby steps to get to the plateau that they're supposed to be at, knowing the highs and lows, going through being broke to make wealth. Like, you'll see it through a lot of celebrities too. It goes on both sides. The devil ain't nothing that the devil do is his work. It's all God's work. Like, these demonoids that sell their soul for riches, they still have to go through. And most of them that don't go through, like being broke or being in hardships or whatever, most of them crash out because they didn't know how to keep their wealth, establish more wealth with the wealth that was given to them, or the money that was given to them. Like, Allen Iverson had buku dollars and he almost crashed out, but he had a couple things that was in the kitten that was set up for him when he was like 40, 45 or something like that, or 50 years old, that he wasn't able to spend all his money at once. But if he was given all his money like some others, or given all their money, he would have blew it all. His wife actually helped him out too. There's another basketball player, Walker from the Boston Celtics. How he had $100 million and he went through it, blew it. MC Hammer, you know, he had mega bucks and he went through it because he was helping others and stuff. And God also will train you that you ain't out here to help everybody. Once you learn the way he wants you to move, he don't want you to move in certain people's lives like that. And that can help you be a crash dummy too. If you don't walk with him and you ain't raised up the way or elevated the way he wants you to be. Like, you got to go through the steps. If you got certain people in your camp that's there to kill, steal, and destroy, you'll never elevate to the plateau that you want to be at. That's just how it goes. And then people be like, yo, oh man, I gave my family this, my people's that. And look, now they don't want to help me out. Like, you wasn't supposed to help them with that money that God had blessed you with. It sounds bad, but it's truth. It's like, yo, God tells you to invest it in this over here. And then one of your cousins or somebody, your aunts, your uncles, or your mom and dad be like, yo, give me 20K, 20,000, you know, I know you got it. Not for you though. That's what God be trying to explain to you. Like, yo, that person that you about to give that money to is about to try to take you out. Why are you going to do that? Why are you going to kill yourself with your own money? You're going to take that executioner, give them the money so they can execute you. You got to be a special somebody to be willing to do some stupid stuff like that. But if you don't know or you haven't been trained up, you won't know, and you'll just let that happen and be like, nah, my family loves me. No, that's not always true. Sometimes when you obtain wealth, money, things of that nature, you make people that you grew up with, cousins, your mom, your brother, your father, your sister, your aunts, your uncles, all of them, friends, co-worker, whoever, they find out that you got this money, trust me, you're going to find enemies in your own camp. They was never your supposed friend like that. They was your friend when you was down. They was loving that. But because you made it past them or you became up, they're envious. And they want to take you out by all means necessary. But they're going to laugh and smile in your face like, yo, we boys, yo, you my fam, yo, da. No. And that's why a lot of people be losing things. You know, some people dying after they obtain this money and stuff and be like, yo, how did they die? Well, they were sacrificed. True story. They peoples took them out. It be like that. People don't understand. Like, you got to know that book, the Bible, these 66 that's in here, there's more books. About 120 of them, you know what I mean? But if you read the book the right way and learn some unknown from God, because you got to know the unknown too, or you got to know some history. Like, human beings, the flood and all of that stuff happened because humans are evil people. It doesn't even matter with a color. I'm going to say something about that on my next joint. But people don't want to hear this truth. It don't matter about the race of a human being. Humans are naturally wicked-minded people. Not all of us, but most of us have that mindset. And then guess what? Some of us teach others to have the same type of mindset. Everybody wants to be like another instead of being themselves. Be like, oh, well, I got my heart broken. I'm going to break mad hearts now. Oh, this person did me wrong. They did me dirty. They stole this, that, and the third. You know what? I'm a thief now. I'm going to start robbing and stealing from everybody I see. I'm going to be hitting every gullible person. But you don't get it. It's just like, just because they did something like that doesn't mean you're supposed to do it like that. And that could be another lesson too, that God's just trying to train you. Like, I don't want you to have that mindset. I don't want you to be like them. I want you to be like you. You different. You got a heart. These people don't got no hearts. They're cold. Some of these people are straight clones. Yeah. People in your family, clones, dog. It's real. You be like, yo, I known this person for 20 plus, 30 plus years. I thought I knew this person. I thought, because guess what? You ain't following that person all day, every day. You ain't logging that person. Only God is. And people got to understand that. Like, you might think you know someone until you really know someone. But I'm going to leave that one there. Like, subscribe, share. This is Church from Churches Intake. God bless.